Hey there guys, how's it going? It's Jules. What's gonna happen today in this video? I don't know. I never know. But the thing about meditation, okay, oh shit, he's getting into it. Meditation again. Speak highly of yourself. Have high self-esteem. Okay, so there's like three kind of self-esteems you could say. Well, first I just want to say, speak highly of yourself, but also be humble. It's kind of like a balance, and it's case by case, situation by situation, so you gotta figure out what's the best thing to do that, and you'll be more graceful and perfect, so to speak, in the way that you respond when you meditate. So, here are the three self-esteem. So, the first one is self-esteem. Okay, the first one is low self-esteem. This is the worst one. This is where you don't value yourself, you don't feel like you're worthy, you don't feel like you're enough. You feel like you're letting yourself down. You may feel guilty about things, you may feel shame. Some of those low vibrations, some of those low emotions are obviously it's a spectrum until you transcend the spectrum altogether, but we'll get into that. So you're just on the map of consciousness. Check out David Hawkins' map of consciousness. He talks about all the spectrum of consciousness, which starts at shame and ends at alignment. So that's the first one. That's low self-esteem. Then you can have mid self-esteem, or we can just go straight to high self-esteem, which is better than low self-esteem, but there's actually something better than going high, and that's transcending it altogether and having no self-esteem. But this is a positive, divine, healthy. No, it's not something that's below low self-esteem. It's actually higher than higher self-esteem, and you get that by because self-esteem. Okay, so self-esteem is built on the premise that you feel a certain way from your certain thoughts, but the more you think, the more negative it is. So the more you think, the lower your self-esteem. It's so weird and paradoxical, but it's the truth. And then when you get higher self-esteem, when you start to think less, but think positive. So the more you think, if you think negative, which you will, if you overthink, you will start to think negative. But let's say you just think, so you think a lot, and when you do think negative, that's low self-esteem. And then when you think a lot, but you think positive, that's mid self-esteem. And when you don't think that much, but when you do think it's positive, because the less you think, the more positive it'll be. It's just the physics of meditation. It'll be high. Yeah, so the less you think, but you think positive, is high self-esteem. And then when you don't think, you got the highest self-esteem, which is, the highest self-esteem. Yeah, which is like having like no self-esteem basically. But it ties into the quote, a fast mind is sick, a slow mind is sound. Okay, so low self-esteem, high self-esteem, and then a still mind is divine. The highest self-esteem, you could call it going beyond self-esteem. So that's self-esteem for you. And obviously you want the highest, but it's probably best to go from low to mid to high. So you gotta gradually make your way up. But you start by being at the ends, and then so there's like polarities. There's love and fear, and you're somewhere in the middle between love and fear. There's infinite love, or the other one. I don't even want to say it because it's kind of spooks me out. So infinite love or infinite of the other one. And then, so whenever you're present, you access love and your bar starts to go up slowly. and then it'll go up and up and up if you stay with it, and then it'll go faster and faster, and it'll go faster, and then it'll make these jumps, these teleportational jumps into better states, and it'll just go. It's weird because it goes exponential. I know that for sure, because whoa shit, it goes exponential. But when I was reading about David Hawkins' map of consciousness, it gets harder and harder to go 1 point. So there's the point from 0 shame to 1,000 enlightenment, and going from like shame to grief to anger to fear to I think fear's before anger. Yeah, fear, anger, fear. And then pride, and then courage. It gets easier. It gets harder to go up. Like 1 point is like a lot, but because okay, I get it. Yeah, so it's harder to go up, but you still go up faster and faster. So it looks like you're going slower, but it's just because each point means so much more than each point means so much more than other points. Points on the lower. Okay, let's cross the road here. Alright. There we go. Yeah, so that's self-esteem. And what'll happen is the less you think. So I recommend you read it's a bit of a mission to read it because it's a huge book. It's like the Course in Miracles. It's like a massive book that's all about spirituality. It's by Benzine and Massara. It's a book called Me About You. The book's literally called A Book About Me. Sorry, it's called Me, A Book About You. And so far it's pretty juicy, and it's got 3 parts. The first part is being, which is what you truly are. And then there's unbecoming, which is like letting go of what you're not. That's part 2 in the book, and then part 3 is becoming. So it's kind of interesting you put it in that order, because that's kind of what we're talking about here. There's being, except in a different order. Anyway, but yeah, reading text can really boost your consciousness. Because it's like being around. You're literally like, by osmosis, you're like absorbing these energies. And A Course in Miracles is one of the highest ones. I was reading in David Hawkins' book Power versus Force, and A Course in Miracles is one of the highest like books, consciousness books ever. So anyway, I don't know what I was gonna say about the other book. It's just, I'll just recommend it for now. I can't remember what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's a beautiful day out here in Australia. Beautiful day. Look at the sky. Look at that. It's amazing. So, one thing I realized today is you just got to start living. You don't want to wait to start living. It took me a while to realize that, but your path is your path. So you're going to do what you're going to do, and you're going to be where you're going to be, and you're going to go where you're going to go. So it's weird. I can tell you to do these things, but you got to come to the conclusion yourself whether you're going to do it or not. Yeah. Alright, man. I'm going to leave it at that. Unless I can think of something else, which I always can. But yeah, no, be humble, because when shit backfires, people are going to want to help you. or your real friends will show their true colors. Your friends will show their true colors and see if they're there for you, or or if they're just gonna like abandon you because you lost a lot of money and you're not rich anymore, or I don't know, anything could happen. You could do something, make a mistake, and it's whether people will forgive you or not. Forgiveness is super important, and it's the core principle in A Course in Miracles. It's all about forgiveness, and the Bible is all about forgiveness as well. All religions are really about love. They have the same mystical core. This is what I believe, because I've been on this journey long enough to know that there's certain things that move the needle and certain things that don't move the needle. It depends what you're doing, but ultimately what moves those needles is the bigger needle underneath, or the subtler needle, you could say, underneath. And then it's basically just being present. If you don't believe me, you don't have to. Just try it for yourself. So, I've had a family member recently say they want to start, because we had someone die in our family, and then my auntie was like, she just realized the fragility of life and how much she wants to be present. She's realizing that smelling the roses is the most important thing you can do. Because there was a like a scientist, a test, like a, sorry, why I can't. They did a study is the word I'm after. They did a study and they asked like all old people like what it is they wish they did, or what's the most important thing in life, and like if they had any regrets, and they said they wish they smelled the roses more. So smelling the roses is accessing one of the senses, right? And being in the moment with that thing. So it means to meditate. That's what it means. Because meditation isn't this thing. I say this a lot, but meditation like isn't this thing where only spiritual people do it, and people do it when they're not even aware of it. Like some people are super lucky, bro. Like they just, because there's different spiritual, like Jesus, for example, was spiritually talented. He was a savant, a spiritual savant. And some people are just lucky spiritually. I consider myself pretty lucky spiritually. I still have a long way to go, really, but it's infinite, so everyone's got a long way to go. But you can get to a point where you're just happy, either like whether you make progress or don't make progress, you have progressed along enough, further enough along the path that you just don't mind. Alright guys, I hope you're well. If you're not, join my community, send me a DM, watch my YouTube videos. We can organize a call, a free call. I do 30-minute free calls. I'm just trying to get my business up and running at the moment, so I'm not really charging anything. I would like to, but I don't have enough clients. So it's all good. Anyway, hope you guys are well. I'll chat to you later. Have a good one, guys. Peace.